No microphone connected, no studio lights, nothing. Just my phone, my front camera on my dining table. No tripod, no blog posts in weeks, no editing of the video that I did 2-3 weeks ago. Tagging still. I'm on day what? Like day. Still tagging on day 24, 25. It's been more than 3 weeks and I did not expect to be tagging for this long. Like in surgical, if you tag for more than a month, you have to extend the department, and I don't even really want to get into it. I don't even know how to get into it without it becoming an issue somehow. But I wanted to share 2 things today. I'm really proud of the fact that I managed to refer a case to the medical department. So how it works is every time you have an active plan in the morning, you carry out those plans, whatever it is, to the best of your abilities. And one of the things that you have to do is to refer cases to other departments. And I had to refer a case of a patient who had a heart attack in his gastrointestinal tract because he has peripheral artery disease, a history of stroke, and basically the blood supply to his bowels was not adequate, so he was sort of stroking in his abdomen, called bowel ischemia or bowel angina. And I didn't know anything about this patient. It wasn't even my patient, it was a friend's patient, but he had left to go into the operation theater, so I covered for him. And I called the medical officer and she just screwed me so many times, 3 times, to a point where she's just like, what's your name? You have no idea how to present a case. You can't just pick up the phone and refer a case because your surgeon said you should. You actually need to know why your patient needs to be referred to an entire other department. Like, what's the urgency of this involvement? And it was scary. It was scary because there was so much history to this patient. He had a very long history of being admitted for, he had a long history of admission. It was over 2 years. None of these problems were necessarily new, and it was only after I had managed to refer the case to them. Like, she actually came to the department and yelled at me and said that I want to speak to your medical officer because this is just unacceptable. You know, I mean, she didn't really have a reputation for being like a mean doctor or anything, but I could see how incompetent I was being, and I didn't fault her in the least. I just made 3 attempts, all failed, and finally on the 4th attempt, I called her and I said, look, I finally understand what the issue of the patient is and where we need you to step in, and I think that was only possible because you pushed me so hard to find out what my patient really needed. And thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for pointing out something that I definitely needed to learn. It's a shame that it took 3 weeks, but it was a complicated case. And I'm really glad that I managed to get her to come and see the patient. And she brought along a colleague, and we found out that our department, like the surgical department, had completely botched his management. We didn't even take a good enough history to find out that he wasn't on the medication that he should have been on. So when we gave him the medication, we gave him 3 times the dose that he should have been started on, given that he wasn't taking any to begin with. And so, yeah, I guess I could give you the details as to what was wrong with him, but basically we started him on 6 milligrams of warfarin when we should have started him on 2 because he wasn't on warfarin, which we didn't know because we didn't take a good enough history, because he hadn't been on warfarin for the last year. He hadn't been taking any. So that was fascinating. And now we are better able to manage the patient. So I'm really glad that, you learn something new every day. You learn lots of new things every day. But today felt like quite an achievement, Like, I decided to help a friend out because I wanted him to finish his requirements so that he could off-tag. And in the process, learned how to refer a case, learned how to understand a case to be able to refer it to another department. That's one thing. The second thing is, I know that I've been tagging for an insanely long time. I don't even really know what to answer the doctors anymore when they ask me, why are you still tagging? I'm like, I don't know. I've done pretty much everything I could. The only reason I'm not off tagged is because I guess my superiors think I'm not going to be competent on my own, and I can't fault them for that. Like, if I'm not able to take care of my patients overnight, then I don't deserve to be off tagged. And my salary is the same, and yes, I work like third more the hours than everybody else, but well, I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna just complain to my superior about it. Like, I'm not gonna be a tattletale. Like, I've handled a lot worse in Indonesia. I'm used to feeling like I know nothing, because that's kind of where you want to be. You never want to feel like you know everything. So yeah, feel free to tag me however long you want, but know that you are compromising patient care by not giving people the opportunity to perform at their peak capacity because they're just so tired all the time. As I was on my way home today, I was looking up at the sky and I saw a full moon, and it just made me think of when I used to journal every time it was full moon, and think about what are the things that I want to let go of, because that's kind of the full moon vibe. And I feel like I don't have the energy to journal. I don't even have the energy to set up my vlog as is. I don't think it's feasible to say that I'll be able to edit properly or learn how to do all the cool animations and graphic motion, whatever that I want to do. But I feel like I would like to at least video journal, if that makes sense, and say that if there's something that I've noticed in the last month is that this job is incredibly demanding, and the longer you've been away from medicine, the more stupid you're gonna feel when you start, and people are not gonna shy away from the opportunity to make you feel incompetent and inadequate, but you can't let that get to you, because that's kind of the point. It's nice to know that at least, even though a lot of the stuff that they said during our orientation about you can talk to us and we have an open door policy, well, even though that was mostly bullshit, and I'll explain this why in some other segment video, it was nice that the most useful advice that I got was when they said, if you feel like quitting, if you feel like dying, if you're just depressed all the time, if you just can't take it anymore, then you're doing it right, because that's exactly how you're supposed to feel. That's weirdly comforting. Yeah, so tagging day 25, I'm surviving, handling it, still learning a lot of new things. I guess that's why I should still be tagging. And I really hope that I find the energy to do the things that matter to me. And for this full moon, I want to let go of... I've let go of this intention so many times, but I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna let go of the idea that I need to be perfect because it just doesn't exist. If I focus every day on improving just a little bit in some way or form, then I'm getting closer to what I want, which is to be a safe doctor, I guess. Wanting to be a good doctor feels like a long shot at this point. Let go of the idea of needing to be perfect. Let go of the idea that I'm going to magically be able to manage all of this, because it's not really in my hands, is it? So I don't know if I'm gonna post this video, but if I do, I hope I didn't bum you guys out too much. Overall, I would say that it's incredibly stressful. Yes, it's a lot of work, but my ability to be supported by my friends and family and meal prepping every morning and forcing myself to eat at least 2 to 3 times a day has really helped. I don't regret my decision thus far. I have so much I want to say about the internal workings of the department, the politics, the whole Ministry of Health and how they run, and patient care. Stuff that I won't have any control over, of course, but just things that I'm acutely observing. But I will save that for another time. Right now, I'm just gonna shower and go to sleep. Thank you for watching this video. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I am logging off now. Day 25, tagging in surgical department still. I hope the next time you see me, I have off tagged and I am gloating about how much free time I have and how much happier I am. So yeah, bye.